You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hey, and welcome to episode
100
of the Soul Forge podcast.
Welcome to the Soul Forge, a place of silent mystery, quiet contemplation, and outright mayhem. Join your host, Shawn Vanderloo, as he guides you through the adventures of living. Together, we'll talk about life and love, sex and dating, joy and heartache, memories and loss, and so much more. Don't worry, it's not nearly as pretentious as it sounds. Get ready for life, the universe, and everything on the Soul Forge.
Hey, it's Shawn here, and we're continuing our Stephanie's Up for the Weekend cycle with another random episode. We are going to listen to episode 31 of the podcast.
If you recall, that is the one where I could be rude here, but I won't. I'm feeling gentle right now. Where I took Shawn's flower and I made it my own. You
did, yes. So for episode 31, I decided to talk about the first time I had sex and whether it was love, lust, or obsession. Went through the whole history of the year 1996, how it came about, read some poetry, basically talked about everything that led up to it, how it happened, what happened afterwards, that kind of thing. So we're going to go ahead and listen to that episode. And then,
together
yeah,
for the first time, and you haven't even listened to it since you recorded it.
Back in January of 2018, so
yeah.
13 months ago.
Listened to it like 3 times in a row, had a good long cry, then a good long think, and then I put it away and filed it in the, that happened, and then proceeded to forget about it and ignore Shawn for a little while until I felt emotionally ready to talk about this again.
So we're going to go ahead and
listen to it together.
We're going to listen to it together. We're going to pause here to play another podcast promo for another show here on the ESO Network, and then we'll come back right after that and talk about our thoughts after listening to the episode 31. Greetings, Starfighters. It's Shawn from the Rusted Robot Podcast. Join me and the Rusty crew as we break down the latest geeky movie trailers, talk about TV, comics, toys, games, casting news, and all things nerdy. Find us on all your favorite podcast apps, the ESO Network, and at therustedrobot.podbean.com. The Rusted Robot Podcast, your source for geek since 2014.
The Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
Okay, so what do you think?
Well,
how intense was that?
That was intense, and as you said at the end of that episode, of episode 31, how that happened and why that happened, you'll never know.
Yeah.
Stephanie, you better come on and explain your side of things.
That's right. But the funny thing was, when I was first doing the podcast, the way I started it was I was doing these future shout-outs. I'd forgotten all about that. I was making people up from the future saying, hey, there was, I think I said on this one, Guillermo from 2023, and he's listening to the podcast because he heard about it on Rusted Robot or something, my other podcast. And now he's here, and he's listening, and we're 55 more episodes, or something. I don't even remember what I said. But I used to do shout-outs, and then for some reason I stopped. I'm not even sure why. I forgot I even did that.
I really enjoyed that. I do remember that.
I wonder if I should bring that back.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun. There was a moment where it sounded so real that I was thinking, is this someone? Are they in on it together? And then I would tell myself, no, this is just Shawn.
I'm just being quirky and making stuff up, and
yes.
Yeah. So,
hey, this is Dr. Trek, Larry Nemechek, and you're listening to Soul Forge.
We've just listened to this thing.
I took some notes as we were going through.
Mm-hmm. We laughed quite a bit.
We really did. And it's really fascinating, actually. There were questions that I had, or there were times when I was listening to it the first time that I wanted to pause it and call and say, what, really, seriously, is that what was going on in your head? And all that kind of stuff. Wow, it's weird to think about this. And so I have jotted down a couple of little things that I remember.
Okay.
So You say you remember the first day that we actually hung out.
It was, the first day we met, January 24th, 1996.
And what is absolutely hilarious about that, and talking, synchronicity, maybe?
Yeah.
This is some kind of weird... That was actually the day, I did not know that when I met Shawn, but January 24th, 1996 was the 4 days after my 20th birthday, and that was the day that I lost my virginity, just in general, to a woman. And I can say that I've lost it twice because I've slept with two genders. So neither one of them was my first time. I don't know, but the very first time was January 24th, and I just think that is super. Is that irony? I don't know.
That's
Alanis?
Where is she?
That ironic?
Can we ask her? Because that was funny. In episode 31, I kept playing clips from Alanis songs.
Yep.
I didn't remember I put those all in there.
Yes, I was really kind of liked it because when I think of Alanis, I think of you, because that kind of defined you and Alanis and Michelle and Michelle, my two girlfriends from 96. Two of my girlfriends from 96. Whoa, God, okay, let's stop here. This isn't my podcast.
It's all good. People want to know who Stephanie is as a person.
Do they, though?
Why not?
So, yeah, that defines... Shawn and Alanis define my 1996.
Because we went to the Alanis concert.
Yeah.
We constantly listened to the CD.
Constantly.
I still think that's the best CD of all time.
Of all time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jagged Little Pill.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yep.
There are a couple. I really like Solace from. This I was
Sarah
just reminded
McLachlan.
from Sarah McLachlan. That was pretty damn good.
Joan Osborne, we also called.
Oh my God, Relish.
We bonded over her.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm. And of course, as mentioned in a previous episode, the Spice Girls and their nipples.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, that's off topic. So I thought that was kind of funny. Two things about January 24th. It was Robbie Burns that broke the ice, which I'm still obsessed with Robbie Burns Day. Still can't find anyone, really, to celebrate Robbie Burns Day with.
And you don't like his poetry?
I've never really liked it because I don't really understand it. But I love Scots, I love bagpipes, I love beer, and I love haggis. And so any night when you can kind of celebrate something like that in such a strange and wonderful way, I like a good old Robbie Burns night.
Because if it's not Scottish, it's crap.
It's crap!
Yeah.
Yes.
That's an SNL reference from the 90s for those listeners who don't know.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Not Scottish, it's crap! Yes, something like that.
Mike Myers played the Scottish guy?
Yes.
Yes.
I think he played everyone. Yeah. What's up? Or, no. Uh-oh.
What are you trying to think of?
Chicken butt.
Oh, guess what?
Guess what? Guess what?
What?
Chicken butt!
Oh, guess why?
Why?
Chicken thigh.
Oh my God!
Oh, yeah. Classic 1990s SNL, Saturday Night Live.
It's crap.
It's crap.
Anyway.
Yes. If it's not Scottish, it's crap. And so I had this Robbie Burns book of poetry to impress you with. You didn't care.
Except that it did impress me because, oh my God, he knows Robbie Burns. Now the poetry sucks, but you want to go for a beer. But then we didn't.
Hey, podcast fans, Spotify is making it easy for you to stream this podcast and many others like it on your mobile device, desktop app, and smart speaker. Open the app on your mobile device or desktop, click on the browser channel, then click on the podcast section. You'll be able to stay thoroughly entertained during your commute to work, your drive home, and your downtime, thanks to Spotify.
I'm not even sure I ever opened up the Robbie Burns poetry book. I just had it with me so that I could break the ice.
It worked. There you go.
Clearly it did because...
And it made a lasting impact because I still, to this day, try to use that as my break in the ice with the girlies.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh.
It's a classic move. And I thought I had no game back in university. Clearly I did. Who knew?
It was your humor, Shawn. Your humor and awesomeness. So another thing, the wall of words, you mentioned my wall of words.
Yes, that always impressed me because it's just like, you're an intellectual, and it's just, wow.
What some people, and I like paintings, and I like music, and all that kind of stuff, but the one thing that gets me the most are words. And So I found a unique way to display them, I guess. I just would write them down, cut them.
Any kind of quote that you liked.
Anything that I liked. It was absolutely anything, from books to music to... There was a friggin' commercial that I really liked the tagline of, and I wrote that down and then put it up.
You just keep adding it, taping it, and pasting it to this
It looks horrible.
growing pile of paper above your bed.
Yep. And I still have it. I just came across it the other day. I was going through all my stuff that I had packed up and wondering what I should bring to my new place right now, and to kind of make it mine. And I almost grabbed it and brought it because it's just so damn personal.
And it's the same one from back then?
It's the same one, and I've added to it since then. But I haven't had it up on a wall for about 10 years.
You're due.
So I am really due, and I keep trying to start new ones, but I can't because I keep remembering that I have that old one. But it deserves not just a room in a place that I'm renting, it deserves its own spot where I can really kind of add to it. So, but anyway, yeah, you reminded me of that. That's nice.
Well, if I can convince you to move up here to Timmins,
Nope.
I got a perfect wall for it.
No.
No?
Oh, well, wait. You probably do, but it's not going on that wall.
Oh.
No.
Because you're not moving here.
I am not moving here.
Think of all the podcast episodes we could record together.
That is wonderful, but you know what? We could record the exact same amount if you moved down south. Bring your son.
Oh, I see how this is. Okay. But back to the episode. We laughed. We cried.
If you are loving this podcast, you should tell a friend about it.
Spread the word about podcasts you think they would enjoy. There's something for everyone, from entertainment and lifestyle
To news and politics
and more. Share it on social media. Believe it or not, some people don't know how great podcasts are.
or even how to find and listen to them.
You can help change that with a click. Tell your friends about your favorite podcast.
Thanks for spreading the word.
Okay.
We didn't cry.
I had to ask this. This was one of the times that I wanted to, when I first heard this on the episode, I wanted to pause it and call you and say, "Is that how I came out to you? Shawn, take your hand. I need to tell you that I am a homosexual."
That's exactly how you said it.
Oh my God, too.
Was,
I can believe it. It's like...
It was so awkward. I remember we walked upstairs to my bedroom in the dorm, and we were just having a conversation. You were super, super nervous.
Yeah.
And I knew exactly what you were going to say.
Of course.
But I had to let you say it. I couldn't interrupt.
Yeah,
You're
the best guy ever.
Thank you. You had to unburden yourself and tell me what you were going to tell me. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And I almost said, and by the way, I'm obsessed and secretly in love with you. And everybody knows it except for you. But, of course, I didn't.
I can't believe I used homosexual.
You did. You didn't say I'm a lesbian.
No, it took me many years, but that's a whole different episode of acceptance and self-love.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then, skipping ahead, we'll talk about the beginning of the second year. Okay, so that's the beginning of the second year. So you have thrown out the gauntlet, is that it?
I guess so. It was September 14th, 1996. We made love, Stephanie, on that night. I don't know how much love there was, but...
Well, no, okay, so I have always felt very odd about this, and very conflicted about this. And number one, I'm going to say that I didn't step into this lightly. Number two, I had a difficult time expressing or being a good person. I keep defaulting to that. Every choice that I made was made out of love, absolutely love. I was just very, I think, misguided in how that is to be expressed.
Well, we were 20 years old. What did we know?
Very, very true. Very true. So going into second year, I had then, because S was towards the end of August, and I remember now, I got it in the mail. This is just two random poems that I have completely randomly written that have no meaning to anything at all.
Is that what I said?
Yes, and one of them was like one of your weird humorous ones, and one of them was S. And I was like, don't pay any attention to them. They mean absolutely nothing. You're going on. And I was like, oh, damn it.
I was really upset, wasn't I?
You were, it's like, it's nothing. I love you. I I love you. And so I read them. And so there I was thinking, I'm going to be seeing him in a couple of weeks, and things are going to be different. I sense that this year is going to be different. We're not going to have 4 out of 5 of our classes together. We've each got lives that are very obviously, the beginning of 96 was this special, beautiful capsule, this time that was just kind of caught and held gently and beautifully. It sounds dorky, but
it's a moment that'll never come again.
It will never come again, and we could never recreate it. And after that time apart, it's just everything is going to change as soon as we add all these other people in. You are going to be in another year. You're going to have all those courses. I am exploring this new thing in my life, and it was also very obvious at the time that I was really heading towards the partying life a little bit more than you. Mm-hmm. And I knew that I had a pretty good feeling that that was going to kind of take me away. And I also knew me just enough to know that I was probably going to do something stupid to push you away from me because, as we have stated many times, Shawn is the best guy I know. And I was developing this persona of, I am a bitch. Just get away from me. So the how and the why of how that all came about. Are you ready for this, Shawn?
I think so.
Okay. It was the nicest, most loving thing that I felt that I could give for you before our friendship or before what we had built would inevitably separate. I knew that you were waiting for someone that could care for you before you lost your virginity. I knew that that was important to you. And I have an ego. I looked around at some of the other girls that you had admitted that you had crushes on, and my first thought was always, they seem nice, but they're not right. They're not good for you. I don't think that at this time anyone is ever going to love you as much, as deeply as I love you. And it's not in a romantic way, and it's not in any kind of a way that that is going to mean that we're going to get married and have children and all that kind of stuff. But and also kind of to force some kind of synchronicity. I lost my virginity after my 20th birthday, and so I thought, for your 20th birthday, this is what I'm going to give you. And you will never know this. I am going to, and I joked about it earlier that I took your virginity, but no, I wanted to share that gift with you. And it might be misplaced and all that kind of stuff, but I thought it was kind, because all those girls were going to chew you up and spit you out, and you were such this beautiful, tender heart walking out into the world, completely exposed and completely unable to protect yourself in any way, for goodness sakes.
Totally oblivious to everything.
Completely. And they were going to hurt you, and you were going to put it all out on the line that first time. And I just couldn't bear the thought of you doing that. And so I thought, I am going to share how deeply I love you, Shawn, by sharing this very intimate moment with you. And so, happy 20th birthday.
Thanks.
Happy belated 20th.
Yeah.
That is exactly how and why it came. It was orchestrated in a way, and it might have been weird, and it's an odd birthday gift, and I never ever told you that.
No.
But I wanted your first time to be something that you remembered fondly and as a beautiful experience. And so I really hoped that I gave you that, and I can't think of the word, I almost want to say distraught by the fact that I was so aware of the song that just kept repeating. Because it went on a lot longer than I wanted it to. Sorry, it makes me laugh. Goddamn, Melissa Etheridge. Yeah, wake me up in the year 2001. Anyway, I did not want to ruin the moment, but I had to make that song stop. And I remember subtly trying to reach out with my right hand and knock it, make it quiet, hit something, and then finally, frig, goddamn short arms, I can't reach the music. Can we turn this off?
Well, no matter what the reason behind your gift to me on my birthday, whether I knew it or not, all these years later, it still makes an epic story of my first time.
Okay.
Because how many people get to say that?
Yes, that is very, very true. I guess most lesbians do get to say that they lost their virginity to a lesbian.
Yes.
But it does not go over quite as big as straight geek guys losing their virginity. And I think you were, still are, one of the biggest geeks I've ever known. So...
And you're not saying that in an insulting way.
No,
It's
absolutely
just,
not. Absolutely not.
I'm a fan of a certain genre.
Yes.
Of stuff.
Yes.
Science fiction, if you will.
Yes.
Yes.
And you still also have an impressive, for your lack of play, or game, as it were. You do have quite an impressive load of stories.
Yes, in fact...
Maybe we can revisit some of those.
Well, I will tell you, I did not have game in university, but once I...
Did I help give you confidence?
Maybe.
That's what I was hoping to.
Once I was 25, 26, 27, my confidence really, really improved. I came into myself, I guess.
Ew!
Yeah, that sounds gross.
That's disgusting.
Oh, you're bad. Oh.
I'm horrible, but it only
like,
comes out with you.
It feels like we're 20 again.
Yes, it does.
Making bad sexual innuendo
very,
jokes.
very bad. I can't do this with the type of job that I have that pays me.
Right.
Yes,
right.
one of the jobs that I have that pays me.
Yeah. But regardless, even though we've had ups and downs and we've stopped talking for...
so many years.
So many years off and on, it was still... We had a pretty intense friendship for a while.
Well, it was always very intense.
Yes.
I think I know you have asked, I've heard you say a couple of times that you don't even know what kind of separated us for those years kind of thing. And I know that a bunch of it came from me. And I went through a bad period. Mm-hmm. And then I went through a better period where I stopped drinking so much. I don't want to say sobered up, because I didn't spend my early 20s completely soaked in booze. But once I really started reflecting, I started to feel bad about some of the reasons I had for doing things, and I kind of harbored a little bit of guilt for, or shame or something. I've harbored something like, oh my God, why did I think that was a birthday gift worth giving? Right. That is just so weird. Yeah.
Well, you remember our plan was to get married.
When we were 40, do you remember?
No, we were going to get married while we were in university.
Right, for the OSAC.
For the student loan money. Because if you were a married couple, you got more money.
We more money.
We never ended up doing it.
Thank frickin' Lord.
Right? Because you would have done it for the money. I would have done it for the love. That would have turned out so horrendous.
So bad.
Yeah.
But because we were 20, we would have absolutely thought that we were doing it for all the right reasons.
Right.
And it would work out.
Yes.
God, 20-year-olds.
We're married. You're off seeing all these girls.
You're at home crying.
Eating my hair in a corner, rocking back and forth. Yeah.
Sadly celebrating.
Yes.
But we won't get into that.
I
just really love watching your face get red.
Because, and I will say this on the podcast, we were very open and honest with each other in our early 20s.
Yes.
And when we talked about masturbating, we didn't like that word, so we called it celebrating.
We called it celebrating.
What are you doing tonight? Oh, I just stayed home and celebrating.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
And to anyone who knows me, if you have ever heard me say that I'm just celebrating, no real reason, and then I kind of giggle or laugh to myself, or if other people say, so what are you doing? Oh, just celebrating tonight. Oh, what are you celebrating?
None of your business.
It's a completely random thing that I have with only one person, and nobody else would ever get it.
I don't even know where it came from.
Nope. Well, I can kind of see how us poety types would come up with it and say, woo!
Yeah, we considered ourselves pretty...
oh, God.
Well, I considered myself a heathen, and you were so sophisticated, and holy crap, you were everything. You were so worldly. That's how I saw you. That's how I saw you back then.
Wow, that's
Like,
Are we getting into the next episode of
No.
Stephanie is the awesomest girl you know?
Yes, yes. No, I just thought you were so classy and educated and like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Really?
Absolutely no idea. I did not know that.
Yep. There you go.
Aw.
So I wanted to remind you once again that you can listen to this show and other podcasts on Spotify. And now it's easier than ever. Just open the app on your mobile device or desktop, click on Browse, and then click on the podcast section. It works on your computer, your phone, your smart speaker system, whatever you want to use. So stay connected to your favorite podcasts and never miss an episode using Spotify.
Yeah. What else do you have on your list? Is there anything else?
No, beginning of second year. This is kind of interesting, and this is going to be a revelation to everyone listening.
Uh-huh.
We did it twice.
And I don't remember the second time.
No.
No.
That happened in, that was a rough time in my life. It happened in February of 1997.
So a few months
It happened
later.
after the FF, I don't know if you've ever talked about that. Of January, so there's January 24th, 1996.
Where we met.
Where we met. But exactly 1 year later, did you talk about...
On the sex episode, episode 69, I think I did talk about where there was a multiple partner engagement.
Yes, a multiple partner engagement that I had nothing to do.
Yeah, you weren't there.
I wasn't there, no, and neither was who?
Me.
What was his name?
I wasn't there.
In the
Tim?
corner? Tim.
Oh,
poor Tim.
Poor Tim. So it was me and you and two other girls, and Tim wanted to join us, and he just stood there with his member in his hand, saying, "What about me?" And we all.
Oh God, it was
him.
awful.
Yeah.
It was awful, but hilarious, and it has a dirty, dirty name. And and I told you today. I asked you, wasn't that in February? And you said no, it was the January 24th, which I was like, oh right, because I don't want to.
That's the second time.
Yes.
Right.
That wasn't the second time.
No.
It was in February that I invited you over.
Oh, okay.
And that's a long, sad story that involves way too much of my personal information.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in the end, I just needed your arms around me. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
We comforted each other.
We did. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And again, you are the best guy I know.
And here we are, 23 years later after having met. Cheers.
Cheers. And
what
this
are we drinking?
time we are drinking Life in the Clouds by the Collective Arts Brewing out of Hamilton, Ontario.
Oh, very nice.
Very nice.
That is.
Not my favorite. I'm not a huge fan of IPAs, but yep. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hello, I'm Daniel Peter Hitch, author of the Bubbles the Pirate children's book series and the Connected Worlds Chronicles. You're listening to the Soul Forge podcast. Keep forging your soul.
All right. So that has been another episode of the Soul Forge podcast. Another episode in the Stephanie cycle. Who knows when this one will come out, but that's okay. Anyway, listeners, hope you've been enjoying this. Hope you've been enjoying the Stephanie cycle. They've been several episodes apart as I've been releasing them, but here they are. We've been drinking progressively, and our words are slightly getting slurred a little bit, I think. Am I slurring my words?
You're not really slurring, but...
My thought processes are slowing down?
Yes, and both of us, I've noticed that our sentences are very precisely worded sentences, are getting some of the words just in a different order, so we're repeating ourselves a lot.
Okay, well this is a good time to end the podcast then.
Maybe.
Thanks for coming by the Forge. We'll keep the fires lit until your next visit, and remember, consciousness is the new sexy. Inner peace is the new success. Kindness is the new beautiful.
Aww.
This has been another episode of the Soul Forge podcast. Find us on Twitter at SoulForgePod or email the show via soulforgepodcast@gmail.com. Soul Forge is a production of Shawn Vanderloo and Friends. You can find Shawn on Twitter and Instagram at Darth Vaderloo. Remember to visit soulforgepodcast.com for all of our social media links and share the show with everyone you know. Thanks for stopping by the Forge. We'll keep the fires lit until your next visit.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping through Amazon.com or the TeePublic Store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.